Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Today is March the 22nd, I believe it is. But I have a quick word that I want to share with you guys. God ministered this to me last night, and I knew before I went to bed I was going to wake up and I was going to record this, and I actually intended to record this on the way to church, but my hair wasn't done and I didn't want to come on camera like that. But then so I knew I was going to remember to post about this, and then I forgot, but God brought it back to my memory when somebody talked about it on YouTube this morning in a community post. So, you guys, I'm very, very adamant and very strong on, sometimes God removes you from the people that are around you so that you can be who He is calling you to be. And that's great. But what happens when God returns you to those very same people who have hurt you, who have tarnished your name, who have minimized you, minimized your skills, who have really just been the opposite of supporters? They've been your number one haters, your number one blockers. They blocking everything that you're trying to do. They talking down on everything you're trying to do. What do you do? And so God brought this to me because yesterday, so I'm gonna say this week I have not been feeling well. Last week I have not been feeling well at all, y'all. I've been extremely stressed out. I've been very much bothered, very aggravated, and it has actually affected my relationship with God, where I wasn't really reading my Bible like I usually do. I wasn't really talking to God like I usually do, because I've really just been frustrated. And what I've been frustrated with is just the kingdom marriage journey, but not just that. I actually been frustrated with my best friend, specifically the man God says is my husband, just because God has been revealing certain things to me about our friendship. And I've just been annoyed at the role that he has played in not coming forward when God has told him to, or being too nervous to come forward, or just, instead of acknowledging the feelings that he has lied about them or just not been honest about them. And it really annoys me, because I'm like, the place that we're in our friendship is partially, I feel largely, because you did not tell me the truth. Like, what God has been talking to me, and what God has been reminding me of or showing me, is that we have always liked each other. We have always had feelings for each other. And initially, in the very beginning, we both used to just put hints out there and wanted the other person to catch it. And I never caught his hints, but when I actually started coming forward and telling him my feelings, he denied having them. And that was a lie. And I do not like that. I don't like that, because for so long it fed my insecurities, the insecurities that I already had about feeling like I wasn't good enough for him, or I wasn't pretty enough to be around him, or, you know what I'm saying? It fed those insecurities, because when I would make comments about, us being together, he might say, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship," and then go get in a relationship or start dating somebody. Or even when we talked about sex, oh, what if XYZ happens? And so I'm thinking that he got a whole issue, and then he will go and have sex with somebody else. And I'm just like, so it's me that you don't want. And that wasn't the case. And it has really put me in a bad spot with him, and almost with God as well. Because in all honesty, I can't love him the way I'm supposed to and not love God, because God is loving me through him in human form. So a lot of the times, and this is something that I really came to understand, but when my relationship with him is trash, my relationship with God is trash. It's not because I have made him an idol. It's not because I love him more than God. That will never be the case. That's not the case now, has never been, will never be. But it's because I know loving God challenges me. It challenges all my beliefs. It challenges everything that I think it's supposed to be. It challenges my man-made beliefs. Loving God challenges that, because God comes and he shows me something completely different. Like, daughter, this is the mindset that you have about this thing, but that's not how God sees it. That's not how God sees it. And it's the same thing that happens with my relationship with my best friend, because God is constantly challenging me through my love for him and my desire to not just be with him, but be a part of his journey. God constantly challenges me through that. So When I'm in a really bad spot with him, I'm in a bad spot with God, and I hate that. But sometimes I just get so mad at God, because why do you have me in this thing, right? Like, there are plenty of men. I don't have a shortage of men wanting me or wanting to date me. I don't have a shortage of that. But this is who God has given my heart to. This is who I have given my heart to. And to know that he just wasn't truthful about that, y'all, it really, really bothers me. And I bring that up because God wants me to heal. He's healing us individually, but God wants me to trust that healing can come from us reconciling. And I feel like God has been trying to reconcile us, but I blocked him. This is the longest I've ever had his number blocked. He's been blocked since Tuesday. I have been telling God every day, I'm not unblocking him, so stop asking me, because I'm hurting and I want him to apologize for lying to me. And I don't know, that might not be right, but God will deal with me with that, with my feelings with that. But what God showed me yesterday, so I've been feeling bad all this week, so I haven't been doing my 3 miles walking. I have been eating trash. Bread is my kryptonite. Bread is my comfort food. I've been eating bread every day, all day. If you see my face is breaking out, that's what happens when I have too much sugar, when I eat sweets, or when I eat bread and I'm not working out. So yesterday I was gonna go walk, and I told my son that I was gonna take him to the park, but when I get stressed out, I have an injury that I got in 2019, and it gets really, really inflamed, and I start getting real bad tension headaches. So I wasn't gonna go because my left arm started going numb yesterday, and it was tingly and stuff. So I'm like, I'm just gonna lay in bed and I'm not gonna go nowhere. Well, my younger sister, she texted me. She was like, "Are you still going walking today?" And I was like, "No," because my shoulder hurting. And then she said, "Oh, something." I was like, "Why, you want to walk too?" And she was like, "Yeah, we can. What time?" or something like that. Right after she texted me, my mama texted me and said, "Hey, you want to go walking today?" So I'm like, all right, God, I hear you. I'm finna get up. So I got up, got myself together. Well, I actually took a nap first before my mama got here. My mama get here, we start walking and stuff like that. And so before we went on our walk, God was ministering to me, and he was saying, like, testify to your mom. And so at this point, y'all, my mom did not know that I had not been working. She did not know I was laid off in October. That was not something that I had told her. And so when we was walking, we started talking to each other and venting to each other. And God allowed me to use my testimony to encourage her. So pretty much just saying, with her and her situation, my story was going to minister to her, and it did. And in that, I ended up telling my mom all of my dreams. Like, I told her about how I'm, back to wanting to open a clinic. I told her about the business, the life coaching business I just started. I told her about the fact that I'm going to be going to school. I told her about my plans. Like, I told her everything. Now, my mama did not know all of this stuff, y'all, because me and my mom just did not have that relationship for me to be sharing that stuff with her. After us falling out last year about my granddad and us issues surrounding that, I made it clear that we was just going to have a relationship for my son's sake, because that's his grandmother. So she didn't know about none of this stuff going on in my life. If it don't pertain to my son, I don't tell her about it. So last night I was just thinking, because I ended up talking to her even about the stuff with my best friend, and she ministered to me about that, and even about why he might have been afraid to tell me the truth, or why he might have lied and stuff like that. And while I'm still stuck on what I believe, she said a lot that made sense, and it's the same stuff that God has been telling me. So, okay, cool. I also have an ex that I talked to, not in a dating type situation, we're actually friends, and I call him an ex, but the reality is our situation was just sex. We met in 2013, we had sex twice, we stopped talking, and then we reconnected in 2018. We struck up a friendship. I was pregnant at that time. When I needed stuff done, he would come and build a bookshelf or come and do this. When I was 38 weeks pregnant, my tire popped on the highway. The next day he came and got my car and put a spare tire on it. Like, he was very helpful, to the point that me and my hormones, I thought that meant that maybe he liked me and we was going to be together, and that was never the case. After I had my son, we got back to having sex. We messed around from 2019 We stopped at the end of 2019 because he did something that really made me mad and it bothered me. And then we reconvened, I think, in late 2020 up until January 2021. And I bring that up because our relationship was fully based off of sex. We didn't talk on the phone. We didn't go on dates. We didn't do anything like that. He came and helped me a couple times, but that was it. It wasn't nothing serious. We didn't even have a friendship for real, to be honest. And so in 2023, I don't know how, but we reconnected again. God allowed him to take me on a date in July of 2023. So this is the very first time July 2022. This is the very first date we ever been on. And then we went on a date again. It was 2023. It was 2023, July 2023. Then we went on a date again in December of 2023. And at that time, every time we went on a date, I would get confused because I'm like, well, maybe he could be my husband because I'm experiencing him in a different way. And this is so cool. And he's so nice. He's so good. Maybe we can get together. And that just wasn't a thing. Every time I thought that, I would get really, all I could think about is, remember when it talks about the story of Saul and David, it says God sent a tormenting spirit to Saul and he just had all this anger towards David. I had all of this anxiousness about my ex, and I just became confused. Like, I could think that my best friend was my husband, and then I would go on a date with this man and I would just get so jumbled. But it was because I was trying to fit him into a space that was not for him. So God revealed to me that's what it was, why I kept feeling like that. And also, I couldn't trust him. Like, he had the most genuine intentions, but I did not trust nothing that he was doing. I didn't trust that. I didn't know why. And I knew that I was still hurting from the things that he did in the past, but I just was hurt, and I could not trust him. So it didn't matter what he said or what he did. I did not trust that man. And I told him, I said, I think we should just stop talking because there's nothing that you can do that'll make me comfortable. And every time I had a concern about something, I brought it to him, and he would ask me, well, what is it that I can do? He would apologize for the past. What can I do? How can I make you feel more, better about our friendship? And there was nothing that he could do. He said all the things, all the perfect things, and I just did not trust him. Fast forward to now, starting last year, I don't know when, but started last year. I don't know how, but I just started becoming very comfortable with him. Like, I used to go from being anxious to text him, and I didn't want to text him a lot, and because I didn't know what was going to come of that, to me being comfortable talking to him, telling him what's going on with me, asking him for his advice, asking his opinion, even stuff when it comes to my son. Like, my baby is starting baseball, and I text him and I'm like, hey, I see soccer cleats and I see football cleats. Does it matter if it's a baseball cleats or not? Because I don't see them. And he was like, yeah, he needs baseball cleats. What store are you at? And I'm like, well, I'm not at a store right now because I'm waiting until I pick him up and take him. And he's like, that makes sense. And he was like, well, what stores are near you? And so before I even get to respond, he sends me the stores that are near me. And then he says, all right, you sit back and let me map this out for you. And he immediately took care of everything. He let me know where I needed to get XYZ from. Even the other day, it might have been yesterday, I was talking to him about wanting to go on a cruise. And I told him that I was, a little nervous about it. And he asked me, what are your concerns? And when I told him what my concerns were, he addressed them. And it has been healing for me to experience this side of him. Because in my head, he was always a monster, a villain. He was a villain in one of my love stories. And he has now it's healing for me. It's very healing for me. And so the message that God ministered to me is, sometimes the people that hurt you, he can use them to heal you. Like, I think about my situation with my mom and how her words, first off, walking with her and talking with her yesterday was healing in itself. Forget any advice that she gave me. That was healing in itself, because that's not something that me and my mom do. That was not our thing. And it was healing for both of us. Me interacting with my ex in the way that I'm interacting with him. No, we're not dating. No, we're probably not going to be together. We're not going to be together. God corrected me. We're not going to be together. But it has been healing experiencing him in this way. And God, the message is, sometimes God will send you back around the same people that have hurt you to heal. And it could be for you to heal, their interactions with you to heal, or it could be for you to heal them. And when we talk about this, I want you to think about, and this is the message that I saw on YouTube in the community post this morning, Moses. She referenced Moses. Moses left Egypt, and then some years later, God sent him back to Egypt to deliver the Israelites from the Egyptians. That probably was something that he never thought he was going to do. He never had intentions of going back to Egypt, but God used him. God sent him back to a place that brought him a lot of pain, it might have been his horror story. And God sent him back to help somebody else. So God has allowed me to experience a different feeling from people who have once hurt me. And they experience with me might be different because, me and my mom was talking about my childhood, and I gave her a grace for a lot of stuff because I knew I wasn't the easiest child. And as I became an adult, I just realized it probably was not easy having 3 kids, being a single mother, trying to take care of stuff, go to school, and you got a child who's constantly in trouble. So it wasn't easy. So I understood it, but her telling me a little bit more stuff about what was happening on the back end, like, it probably was healing for her to be able to get that out and explain to me, like, yeah, I probably couldn't be the mother that you needed at that time because this is all I had going on. As a kid, we don't understand that stuff. We just see our moms don't have a relationship with us, or we see our moms or our dads being mean to us or not being present. And then when we get older, we understand things more. And then when we become a soft space for them to say things to and for them to reveal their truth, they will reveal things to us that we do not even know about. And it'll be like, okay, I see why that happened the way that it did. But the thing about it is, again, like I said, you have to be that safe space. You can no longer play the victim. And that's why it's so important for us to do our parts when it comes to healing. Because when God sends us back around the same people that hurt us, it is not for us to be a victim. It is for us to heal ourselves and heal them, help deliver them, help them heal from their own traumas. Right? These people also have their own traumas. And that's a lot of reason why they traumatize us in whatever ways they traumatize us. They don't know any better. My mom is telling me about my characteristics and how I always been a strong-minded person, always been strongly opinionated, always said what I wanted to do. And she was like, you can be very intimidating. And I'm like, I keep hearing that. That's not true. Y'all stop saying that. Because somebody just told me that last night. And somebody I keep being told that, and I just don't see where. But she's like, listen, you don't understand. Like, it's not that I'm scared to talk to you, but it's like, I don't want to hear your mouth. And some of the things that you say or some of the things that you do, you are very intimidated. So it's kind of like, yeah, we don't say nothing. And it's kind of like, hearing that from my mom, like when I hear men say that, I just be feeling like that's a weak excuse for you to not talk to me. That's so annoying. Oh, y'all are intimidating, so that's why we don't talk to you. Well, just don't talk to me then. Like, that's so stupid. That's so dumb. But hearing that from my mother, who was also an intimidating woman, she ain't never intimidated me, but she intimidate other people. But hearing that from her, that I can be intimidating, it's kind of like, I can see why my best friend wasn't honest with me. I can see why a lot of things have happened in my life in the different type of interactions that I have, because I'm very strong-minded and strong opinionated. And that's not a flaw. That's not, that's not a bad thing. But I just have to understand that the boldness that I have, people don't have that. So when I'm saying, well, I'm scared too, and I did it, so you should be able to do it too, a lot of people can't move like that. And so that's my mom telling me that last night. It healed a certain part of me that was resistant to my best friend. Like, okay, if she see me like that, that might really be a thing. So when people keep saying that might actually be a thing. And it's not a bad thing. It's not something that I need to address, but I have to understand when it comes to this character trait that I have, everybody ain't like that. So when I'm saying, oh, I want a man to do X, Y, Z and stuff like that, God might pair me with a man who does not do X, Y, Z. And it does not mean that that's not my person, but it just means that I gotta be a whole nother person. I don't want to say a whole nother person, but I have to understand his resistance and his hesitation with certain things. I have to understand that. I have to understand his resistance in coming forward, his resistance in speaking about certain topics, why he does not initiate certain things. I have to be understanding to that. And God just said that to me just then, because I'm still in my mind like, no, I'm not. But he's telling me, like, you have to be that. You have to, you know what I'm saying? So the message is, take your healing serious and take forgiveness serious. That's the biggest thing. And God was on me all day yesterday about forgiveness. I have to forgive him. I have to forgive him for not coming forward. I have to forgive him for not being honest. I have to forgive him and not be mad at him about it. You have to forgive the people who have hurt you, because you never know how God may use you in that person's life. And if you're still so stuck on the way that they hurt you, you're not going to be able to be used by God. God don't just send us around people that's like us. Oh, I'm holy, saved, and sanctified, and he just gonna put me in a church of people. No, God might send me to a jail, a prison, to minister to prisoners. God can send me to a community with a whole bunch of serial killers. I'm not gonna always just be around like-minded people, because God wants to lead me, and God wants to use me to lead those people. God wants to use me to be of influence. And I'm gonna be honest, God is constantly showing me how much of a light I am in the people around me. God is constantly showing, because even for my mama to ask me to go for a walk yesterday, because she know that I be walking. That she don't normally do that walking thing, but she did it because she knows that I do it. And she wanted to lean on me for a little bit. God is constantly showing me how he is using me to be the light to others. Even my husband, he's using me to be a light to him, to lead, because I'm leading these people back to God. I'm not starting my own army and everybody following me. No, I'm leading you straight back to the source. I'm leading you back to God. And so he's constantly on me about the position that I take up, and I shrink back from it because I'm truly like so in submission to God. I just don't want to be in the limelight. I don't want to be the person that's leading everybody. I would rather follow some people. Well, my husband. I ain't following nobody else. I'd rather follow my husband. But I'd rather not be used in that way. And he's like, no, the way you are, your strong opinion, being strongly opinionated, being strong-willed, that's what a leader is. You're a natural leader. I'm using you as a leader. That's what you do naturally. I've been doing that since I was a baby, y'all. My mama tell me all the time how I used to boss my little sister around. Come on, it's time to clean up the room. I'm 2 years old, she a year old, and I'm making her get up to come clean up the room. So I always been like this. Why am I constantly trying to shrink myself back from a position that God made me like this from the very beginning? So yeah, he wants to use his children in different places. Don't keep thinking that your elevation comes from you being in higher places. Sometimes God may start you at the bottom. Y'all, think about Joseph. Think about Joseph. Joseph went from right here to down here because he was in the well. Then he went right here because he was in the pit. But God raised him up a little bit because then he became the guard of the pit, or he became somewhere high in the pit. And then he got arrested. He and he went down. He went back to jail again. And then he got raised up again. He was constantly up and down, but every place he went to, God raised him up. So elevation is not just about being raised up, y'all. Sometimes you start from the very, very bottom and you're raised up that way. And sometimes you go down, go up, go down. But elevation is not just starting up here and then going up from there. Elevation is sometimes a little bit lower than what you think it is. And lower does not mean it's dirtier or it's nastier or anything like that. Lower just means you started from the very beginning because your expertise is needed for where you are about to go. Your wisdom is needed. Your knowledge is needed. Your experience is needed. And God wants to start you up so that as he raises you up, you got knowledge that's following you up too. So you're not just starting at this top level where you don't know nothing. You're going to start from the bottom and God is going to raise you up. And in the communities that God is going to send you into, he's going to use you to raise those people up as well. He's not just raising you up by yourself. You bringing people up. And a lot of time it comes from the people that you just come from. So, I know I talked a couple weeks ago about how God would have you separated, and that's true. God will separate you, because God started separating me from my family back last year in July. So he will separate you, but guess what? He will bring you back, and you need to have a God mind about it, a God heart about it, so that you can receive whatever knowledge or wisdom comes from this experience. You cannot receive it if you're still holding on to pain. So unfortunately, I cannot receive my husband. God could be sending him, and God been telling me that he's trying to send him back, but I got him blocked, so whatever. God been telling me he's trying to send him back. I don't have the heart to receive it because I've been mad. I've been pissed off all week. I've been sick. That's how mad I've been, y'all. I've been sick. Let it go. Forgive him so that you can move forward in healing. And because your healing is not just about you. My healing is not just about me. My healing is about him. My healing is about the people who are going to be touched by the testimony. It ain't just about me. So that's the message, y'all. Just as God will separate you from the people who have hurt you, God will bring you back around them same people that hurt you, because he wants you to experience something different from them. But you have to have the heart to receive it. You have to forgive them, and you have to be ready to move forward, and you have to be ready and willing for God to use you in the way that he wants to use you. Simple as that. And until you get ready to be used by God, you're just going to sit there, and you're just going to sit there mad while life moves on around you. So just do your part and heal, so that you can go where God is taking you, and you can continue healing, and you can heal the other people around you. You can deliver the people that are around you. It's all for a purpose, y'all. Romans 8:28. No experience is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is a loss. Everything is a gain. Because if you lose it, then it's only coming back better in another way. So that's the word for today, you guys. I hope it blesses you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe, and I will see you all in the next video.